So on this chilly fall day, the first of daylight savings here on the East Coast, we've changed our clocks, that artificially induced framework. We're going to take advantage of the last light of the day and beautiful way the sun hits the trees around this time of day. First and foremost, we always honor the gatekeeper stone at the entrance to the labyrinth, entrance and exit, that protects and provides a container for all that we wish to bring in. And this is the start to the labyrinth, and so I invite you to place into this internal walk, or walk towards the center, all of that which you would like to see changed, first and foremost within you, and secondarily within society, within our world, within the government, or governance of not only our country but others. For we are at a choice point, and this vote, this election, is actually including pretty much everyone around the world. For this is a deciding point, and as souls, whether we're going to move forward or we're going to continue the old way. As I walk, I will be inviting in some of the many energies that were here this week with multiple traditions and their millions of participants and over thousands of years. Honoring, in this case this week, those beloved ones who have passed, honoring ancestors. So first and foremost, I invite in all of those dear ones who have passed and from which we have modified the All Hallows practice as known in the British Isles. But every other country has its way of recognizing at one point or another in the year. Many within the European continent, the time of fall, when there is such a physical presentation of deathing, with the leaves and the trees, and having to cull the weak animals so that there will be food over the winter and they won't suffer during the winter by being ill. But there was no fear, there was no hiding. It was a very natural part of life, and so it is recognized that there is that continuation of life and the cycle of life. And so of course one can continue to commune with, communicate with, and be connected and advised by those loved ones who have passed on. So really just let yourself feel those relatives that you remember well. And even though the relationship may not have been what you would like it to be, feel the acknowledgement, recognition, and gratitude of their presence in your life, be it for a more difficult form of transformation or assistance in your transformation by you learning more about yourself and your patterns through your interactions with them. Other traditions this week have been All Saints' Day, All Souls' Day, which, despite the fact that it was developed by the church to suppress and attempt to eliminate many of the old ways, it has still survived as a moment in time when we can connect with, talk to, honor. In many countries, this is done by actually going to the grave or some point that is recognized for that person, should they be cremated or whatever other choices, and actually celebrating their life by eating the foods that they enjoyed and bringing items that they were familiar with. And we have that showing up in almost every culture around the world at one point or another in their seasons, or rather their year. There is a date chosen, and this comes from a time when not only the recognition of the space between life and death and the possibility of being able to cross that boundary or apparent boundary, and that they too can move back into this reality to the extent where communication and connection is felt and experienced. And here at the center stone, I invite you to hand over to those beings your worries, your concerns, your fears, and all that you feel is not part of what you wish your future life to be it on a physical level, an emotional level, mental level, energetic level, spiritual level. And as we turn from the center to go back the same path on the labyrinth, which is the wonderful aspect of the labyrinth, is one need not think about where you're walking, but simply follow your way back out again, the same path that you went in. So I'm going to stay kind of quiet on this outward path, inviting in the energetics of the future that have represented themselves this week, the very, very powerful tradition of Diwali with all of the many lights, the clay candles that they put out as a representation of the light overcoming darkness, goodness overcoming evil, and the potentials for the future. There are a lot of sacred geometrics that have come in this week, particularly working with a group that has been making structures, energetic structures of unification between peace, freedom, and justice and fertility or growth over the entire Washington governmental area for the past couple years. In working with another group that is following a more ancient magical tradition combined with current science. There are structures being opened and embedded within the human psyche for the forward moving and opening of consciousness and awareness of the human species within the human psyche. So there are many groups around the world who are inviting through their tradition the forward movement of the human species and our interaction with one another, and both individually and in countries, as well as our interaction with the earth and all her many aspects. Another maybe not so successful convention of biodiversity, the COP16, that meets to bring accords and agreements over the protection and preservation of aspects of the earth, environment, habitats, and all that goes along with maintaining biodiversity. And although there were many agreements made, the means of funding them have not been locked in. And this is because again, we are at this choice point of moving forward and out of the old way with a small group of people, and in this case, corporations and billionaires who want to keep things very much the same. And that means using all resources and doing whatever on the backs of the people. And in this case, it is the developing countries who do not have the funds to repair some of the damage that has been done by conquering and overuse and theft in many instances of resources and land and old ways of farming, etc. Just one of many things that are occurring that are deciding points. Do we do it the old way, or do we try something new? And so now I invite you to place within the labyrinth as well some aspect of the earth or our planet, be it socioeconomic, be it regarding the earth directly, maybe even your neighborhood that you would like to see changed, and moving into a more holistic or healthy, mutually beneficial way of being. And so now allowing the labyrinth to bring to you symbol, sound, shape, song, song title, story, book, legend, myth, memory, movie, cartoon, character from a book. Remembering that information from your unconscious, subconscious, and beyond conscious comes in symbolic and metaphoric ways more easily than nice, clear English sentences. So allowing the labyrinth to bring to you, be it in a sensation in your body or just a feeling, something to gift you, to bring you through the upcoming days of a focal point for not only this planet, but the galaxy and the universe itself, since this is the playing board of the entire evolutionary process. There is much magic and deep earth energetics within the labyrinth that can bring you many different types of gifts. Feel, sensate, experience what it is that the labyrinth and your inner divine self are bringing you at this time. And as we leave, you're doing so with deep gratitude and honor, recognizing the Master Gatekeeper Stone. And I always just recognize, honor, and give gratitude for the integration and inputting of the energetics and the holding of those energetics by the Gatekeeper Stone. And so tomorrow, Monday the 4th, I will be offering to anyone who would like to come and walk the labyrinth for spiritual deepening, for some peace and balance that we will be working with on Monday night in the Soul Election group. But I am opening up the labyrinth between 4 and 6 on Monday for anyone who wants to come. If you need to come at a different time, please call me, and if possible, I will allow you to come in and walk the labyrinth and offer to her your wishes, your desires for not only this election, but the coming season of going inward, which is always the fall and winter season. And then on Monday night, please join me as we have the third in the series of soul election gatherings, where we will be accessing many different types of energetics, very, very powerful, that have been coming in and through this whole weekend. I've been in meditation with multiple groups and individually or by myself, and there's so much that is here to help us, so much that is here to guide us and lead us, yes, but also that are invested in our own personal and collective advancement. So please join me at 8 o'clock. I will post the Zoom in both the newsletter and on Facebook so that you can just hop in at 8 o'clock. It may be a couple hours rather than the 75 minutes because many people have been coming in to really place their desires and dreams and designs for the future. And then Tuesday, the 5th, the day of the election, I will be opening up space, Zoom space, for meditation, a meditation room, and energetics that will hold and support both you and those that you bring in, i.e., family, friends, through the process of meditation, or just to come in and get some regeneration and some life force and supportive energetics. So I'm opening that up from 12 to 2, from 3 to 5, and then again at, 3 to 6, and then again from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock. You can just come in, sit, speak if you like, to offer what you want. Otherwise, I will be holding, and the healing container will be holding all that you wish to deposit and have reformed, as well as those designs that you want to see come in the future. So please join me and contact me for any questions. Be well, and as always, in honor and gratitude and love for you.